Hey guys, and welcome to my 17-week bump date. Okay, so let's see. 17 weeks. I have like a little list here. I don't know why this computer today is making my face look a different color than my neck, because in real life they're the same color. But yeah, so there's that. Okay, so 17 weeks, definitely getting a little bit more energy, which is good. My sister-in-law visited for about 3.5 weeks here recently. She just left yesterday, and we did a lot of walking while she was here, and I didn't really feel like I was overexerting myself, or I didn't get like overly winded. I felt pretty good. So yeah, definitely have a lot more energy. Haven't really been needing as many naps, although I did take one yesterday, only because she was leaving so early in the morning and I wanted to get up and say goodbye to her, and so I had to wake up at like 4:30, I think, and we hadn't really gone to sleep till close to midnight, so 4.5 hours of sleep is definitely not enough hours of sleep, and so as soon as I dropped Ian off the next morning, I came home and I passed out, and I took a really, really good long nap. Let's see. My nausea is pretty much gone all day. I think I said this in my last video as well, but I do still get nauseous here and there. It's not like completely gone and out of the, out of the wind or whatever. It's just, I mostly get it, like, if I think about eating something and then that thing kind of sounds gross, I might get like a quick wave of nausea, and then I know like, oh, I probably shouldn't eat that. Or if I decide, no, I'm gonna eat that. I don't care. Maybe if I'm eating it, it won't be so bad. And sometimes that's not the best idea, and I'll eat it, and then that will make me nauseous. But overall, I don't really get nauseous anymore, so that is very, very good. Brushing my teeth still does make me gag. I'm not throwing up anymore when I brush my teeth, which is awesome. And I don't really gag when I'm brushing my teeth. It's when I like swish the water around. That is when I gag. And I usually only gag once or twice, and nothing comes of it, so it's okay. As far as my emotions have been going, I've been feeling very impatient, which is not amazing when you have a newly 6-year-old. Ian turned 6 this week, which is so exciting. My baby is 6 years old. But yeah, he's in kindergarten. He requires quite a bit of patience, and I feel like my patience has been running quite thin. But I'm trying to not show it, even if I feel it, and I hope I'm doing a good job at not showing it. But yeah, just everybody in general in life, I've been feeling quite impatient with. If they're not going quick enough, or if they don't do things how I think that things should be done, I just get real impatient and I start getting irritable. My lawn guy like canceled, and I got pretty upset about him canceling, and then he rescheduled, and then he didn't even show up, and I was like irrationally mad about it, which I feel like I had a good reason to be irrationally mad about it, because I was having a lawn inspection the next day and I told him this, and it's a big long story. But anyways, needless to say, I've been quite impatient. I've been very emotional. Not so much on like day-to-day things. Nothing really makes me feel emotional, but seeing Ian write sentences. He's writing sentences now, and sometimes, he spells them the way that they sound and not really the way that they're spelled. Like, he writes the word of UV, and I just thought that was just so sweet that it just I almost cried, because I was like, I know exactly what he's writing, and it makes complete sense, and it's just so cute, and so that made me a little teary. And then today he went to he's got a special group that he goes to at school for military kids, and so they had to like fill out this paper, and it was like, how did you feel when your dad deployed? And he had to draw a picture, and it had a little sad face of him saying goodbye to his dad, and I was like, oh. So that, that kind of emotional stuff. And then obviously movies and commercials and things have just been getting me like crazy. baby kicks. I have been feeling baby movement every single day. From kind of like a roll. It's very, very light still, but I can definitely feel a little bit of pressure when baby is pressed up against one side of my stomach, and I can feel a very soft roll when they go somewhere else. And I'm definitely feeling still a lot of those little popcorn kicks, which are just so cute. I still can't see or feel it from the outside of my belly, but I'm definitely feeling movement on the inside of my belly, and it's here and there all day long, so that's pretty awesome. It starts in the morning, and then basically whenever I'm sitting still is when I notice it. I have started getting more excited. I know in some of my last videos I told you guys that I was having a little bit trouble feeling, I mean, I was excited in a happy way, but like excited, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I didn't want to look at baby stuff or talk about baby names or do things like that because I just felt like I was going to jinx it or something. But I've been feeling more and more excited. I've been like feeling like I want to look at baby things. I want to look at baby names online. Like I've been imagining things more of how things are going to be when the baby is born, and it seems more real and like it's actually going to happen, and I'm less and less feeling nervous and scared every second that something bad is going to happen. But on that note, let me tell you about the little pregnancy scare I had. So I had a genetic test done. It's supposed to check for like Down syndrome and trisomy 18 and some other stuff that I don't really remember. I'm going to be honest, the doctor offered me the test because she was like, you know, you're over 30, so we do offer the test if you want to. You don't have to get it. She's like, we really don't push it unless you're over 35, which I'm over 30, but I'm not 35 yet. So she's like, so we don't push it, but we do offer it after 30. And I know that that test can actually give you an early gender, or like the sex of the baby you can find out early. And I thought that would be so cool to find out early on what if the baby was going to be a little girl or a little boy. And for that reason and that reason alone, I agreed to take this test, which is a blood test. So I was like, heck yeah, I want to know what I'm having early. Well, I'd been waiting for results of that, and I had my 16-week appointment last week, which I think I shared with you guys. Yeah, I did. And at that appointment, like, I thought that we were going to go over the results of my genetic screening, but she actually said that there was a part 2 and they didn't tell me, and she's like, I'm so sorry we didn't tell you, but there's actually a part 2 that you have to do before we get the results. And that meant that she didn't know yet, and now by the time she gets the results and tells them to me, I will be 20 weeks, but I actually have my anatomy scan scheduled for 19 weeks, so I will already know the sex of the baby before I get the results from the genetic screening. So it was kind of an unnecessary 2 blood draws. But the point of the pregnancy scare was that after I had my second draw, my doctor was like, okay, so go down to the lab and get your blood drawn. Now, if we see a problem or something looks concerning, you know, Down syndrome, if we see any markers for that kind of stuff, then she's like, we will call you and you can come in for those results and we'll discuss them with you. She's like, but if everything looks good, then we're not going to call you. So no call is good. And I was like, okay, had that in my head. No call is good. Well, like a day later or 2 days later, I get a call from the nurse line, the line that she said was going to call me if something was wrong. And basically the message just said, like, they didn't tell me what it was for. They just said, we need Victoria, you know, to call in immediately. We have something to discuss with you. And my heart just sank, you guys. I was like, oh my gosh, I have been so nervous this whole pregnancy that something was going to go wrong. And now I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable about things. And now they've messaged me, or they're calling me because I just had a genetic screening and they said they would only call if something was wrong, and they're calling, oh my gosh, there's Down syndrome, or there's something else that they found. It just, something is wrong with the baby. I was so upset. I felt like, I don't know. I didn't know what they were going to tell me. If they were going to, I guess my worst fear was that they were going to tell me that there was something wrong with the baby, that, you know, it wasn't going to live past birth or something like that. Like, that was my worst fear. So I called them back, but they were at lunch, and so my sister-in-law was here, and we took our boys to this like indoor play place, and I couldn't even enjoy it because the whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna call me back and tell me that this baby's not gonna make it, and I was so stressed out. Well, they did call me back, and the nurse was like, oh, I'm just calling to tell you that if we find out something looks concerning on your genetic screening, then we will call you. But if nothing looks concerning, then we won't call you. I was like, so you're calling to tell me that you won't call me if everything is okay? And she's like, yes. I'm like, oh my freaking God. I like just spent hours thinking the worst possible thing. And they were only calling to tell me that they wouldn't call if everything looked okay. You got to be kidding me. I was slightly mad and irritated, and I didn't say anything to her, but I felt really irritated about that. But so relieved. And then a couple days after that, I get another call from the nurse line, and this time I answered the phone, but I saw on my phone like that it was the OB nurse calling, and again, like my whole inside just tensed up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they are calling, something is wrong. I answered that phone, and I was just like, hello, and they were like, is this Victoria? And I said yes, and they're like, okay, well, I'm calling from the nurse line, can you verify your social security number? And this whole time I'm like, I'm saying it, and I'm like trying not to burst into tears, and she's like, oh, I'm just calling because we overbooked the day that we scheduled your anatomy scan. We actually overbooked that day, so we wanted to know if we could actually give you your ultrasound 3 days earlier than that. I was like, you guys are trying to kill me. You guys are trying to kill me right now. I was extremely relieved that there was nothing wrong with the baby. I was extremely excited that my anatomy scan got bumped up 3 days, so I get to find out 3 days earlier what I'm having. So I actually get to find out in 2 weeks. But my gosh, those 2 calls, like, they just need to stop calling me. Okay. Next up, let's see. Boobs. Wow, these things are awesome, and they are growing so much faster than when I was pregnant with Ian. I do remember my breast size increasing when I was pregnant with Ian, but not this soon and not this big, and I sure am appreciating these bad boys as a lady with a smaller chest. It's quite exciting. Let's see. I have been super hungry feeling. I snack all day long, and I just started getting extremely thirsty just the past few days. I'm not a huge water drinker, so drinking a ton of water is kind of hard for me, but I do try to make up for it with the other things that I drink. But I do drink water when I go to bed. I take water with me and I drink it at bedtime, although that's probably not a good idea because it makes me have to pee when I'm supposed to be sleeping. Pimples. Oh my gosh, pimples. I am covered in pimples. You can't see on this screen, but I've actually got one, oh maybe you can, I got one huge honker right here, and they're just all over my chest. I feel like I am in 7th or 8th grade again. It is ridiculous. With Ian, I feel like my face cleared, kind of. Like, I feel like my face was nice, and it was just nice, and this time I feel like my skin is just super, super bad. I've got blackheads and pimples just all over, and they're big and they hurt. And I've been getting like dark circles under my eyes, and it's so weird because when I was pregnant with Ian, I actually felt cuter. Like, I didn't wear makeup and I just felt like I looked cuter. But this time I feel like I look terrible all the time. Like, my hair is falling out like it normally does, but with Ian, I felt like my hair stopped falling out. My hair got super thick and it was amazing, and this time I feel like my hair is still just falling out how it normally does. It's not getting thicker. It doesn't feel as soft as it normally does. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so there's that. And then the last couple things are dry skin. I do remember getting a little bit of dry skin right around here on my hands when I was pregnant with Ian. But this time, I feel like I'm getting dry skin everywhere. My hands are super dry. My arms are dry. My belly is dry. I have to put lotion on that. My face feels dry. I normally don't put face lotion on, but I've been having to because my face is super dry. My lips are the driest of all. I rarely ever wear lip product like chapstick or anything like that. I just don't have to. But this pregnancy, I have to wear chapstick every single day. And I have to apply it sometimes more than once a day because my lips are just always dry. So that is definitely something that is different this time. And the very last thing is, and I don't know if this is a pregnancy symptom or if it just was a random occurrence, but I got a nosebleed the other day, and it was so random, especially here in Okinawa where it is kind of a more moist climate. Like when we were in California, the air was very dry and Ian was always getting nosebleeds. I hadn't gotten a nosebleed since I was very young. I didn't even remember the last time I had a nosebleed until this summer when we went to Italy, and they have very dry air, and I did get nosebleeds there. But since we'd come back to Okinawa, I haven't had a single nosebleed, and I never get nosebleeds. But the other day, I was just sitting in an arcade with Ian, and it was just started pouring out blood. I don't even know what that was about. I didn't bump it or scratch it or anything. It just started bleeding. So that was different, and I don't know if that's a pregnancy symptom other people get or if it was just random and I just got a nosebleed and I don't know why I'm sharing it with you. But anyways, that is everything for my 17-week bump date. So I will go ahead and show you the belly, and then, yeah, I will see you guys for week 18. Bye! Okay, so this is the week 17 bump. Got this side, front. And then, thank goodness for LuLaRoe leggings. These one size are awesome. Okay. So, okay, I will see you guys for week 18. Bye!